What's up, everybody? How's it going? All right. Well, UPS finally showed up. So, we are ready to do this thing. This is our select break from last night that I posted. 4-box 2025 select. And here is our owner list for that one. Missing payments from Jake, Michael, and James on that one. I did message all those guys. All right, so let's get this party started. Again, I apologize for the delay. I don't know why FedEx wasn't able to. I don't know if they, just got overwhelmed or if they had a mechanical issue or something. That's happened before where they've had like a truck breakdown and then, then they just don't get everything out that they're supposed to get out. So I don't know what the situation was, but in the past when it's been a mechanical failure, it'll say, we experienced a mechanical failure. It just said delayed. So I don't know what. The hamster fell off the wheel yesterday, apparently. But either way, here we are. So, got a blue Bubba Wallace. That'll go to James. 85 out of 175. I'm going to point you guys down just a little bit more. Logano numbers. Code card. I don't know if anybody's seen yet or not the paint schemes for RFK. Look really nice. Chandler Smith with the NASCAR parallel. That's going to go to Candace. RFK is using the number font for Greg Biffle's traditional font styling for all their cars for Daytona. I thought that was really cool. Very nice, kind of classy touch. Not something that's like overdone, AJ Allmendinger. Silver, Greg Biffle. And we're going to have a red, Richard Petty and Kyle Petty. Tandem draft. Richard is Glenn McKay, and Kyle is Jake Levine. 69 and 99. So we will need to do a random for that one when we're done. And we got a purple Kyle Petty. $22/125 goes to Jake. 11/25, Blake Harris. Oh, that's nice. With the tie-dye patch autograph. Blake Harris goes to Candace. Very nice. Love the tie-dyes. That's sharp, Candace. Nice one. Tony Breidinger made a big change. Switching teams. Frankie Muniz, purple, goes to Sea Salt, 44/85. And of course, if you were basically non-existent in social media yesterday, Haley Deegan broke her news. She's back in the NASCAR ranks, racing ARCA West full-time, and then it sounds like she's going to be running a couple of truck races. Tricolor Tanner Gray. Larson with the trackside. Tricolor Justin Allgaier. And we got another tandem draft that's probably going to need another random. Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. Chase Elliott is Tim Mays. Kyle Larson is Lewis Schock. And that is 20/25 with the tie-dye Elliott and Larson. That's nice. Dodge rumor with her was true. I think she's in a Chevy, though, JR. I don't know about the truck. I don't know what truck she's going to be driving, but I know from what I heard that the ARCA team she's driving for is Chevrolet. Again, that's just what I heard, so I don't know if that's all factual or not. Silver, Tyler Ankrum. And this is going to be nice. 4/49. Patch auto for Greg Biffle. That's going to go to Jake. Nice one, Jake. Nice color match with his Cheez-It fire suit as well. Very nice. We were just talking about you, Greg. Nice of you to show up. Austin Dillon, Amarola, purple William Byron. That'll go to Will Black. $68 out of $199. Silver Clint Boyer. We got an orange Corey Day. Going to Lewis. Yeah, so she's going to be in a Ram. That's cool. 19 out of 49. Ty Gibbs selective swatches will go to James Holland. And I'm going to have to open some more 168s because every hit was a patch right off the bat. So we'll get some more of those opened up here after this last pack. Irvin. NASCAR parallel, Justin Haley. Goes to the unlisted spot and James. Trying to not blind you guys with that light. It's hard with these shiny cards though, because you got to have light to be able to, you know what I mean? Like it's very tricky. Gotta have light to see, but all right. Box 2. Packs come out of these boxes so weird. It's a Chevy team. Yeah, I don't know. That's the first I've heard about the Ram thing, so I'm not sure. Again, I don't know what truck. In the post it said select truck events, but it didn't say what truck, for what team, anything like that. So I don't know. White, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. goes to James. That is 64 out of 99. I do think her going to ARCA is like the best decision she could possibly make, because she was really good in ARCA when she came, when she was coming up through, and there's no reason to think, oh, I have to be at this level to be successful as a racer, and that's what happens is people start putting this in your head or her head or whatever. Troy with the orange, and eventually, you know, if you don't move up, then people start saying, well, are you ever going to go do this or that? And that's not the case. You know, there's been lots of drivers that have made careers out of running in the lower divisions in NASCAR. So it's almost like starting over for her in a way. But I mean, she's young enough. Who cares, you know, like tricolor Matt Kenseth. Got a blue Sensations Ross Chastain going to Joe. I think she does better in stock cars, though, than she ever would have done in an Indy car. 48 of 49. You know, with the background that she has in kind of off-road stuff from her family, IndyCar is just more, to me, that's more finesse. It's not really in her wheelhouse, so to speak, where stock car racing seems to be a little more, you know, you can touch the wall, you can rub on each other, and, you know, all those things. 94 of 125, Matty D going to James. You'll probably hear James's name a few times tonight or today. James not only has the unlisted spot, but then closed us out with those last, I don't know, 12 or 15 drivers. So James has quite a few spots. Yeah, exactly. Jimmy struggled with it too. You know, and that just speaks volumes to Kyle Larson and his ability to do what he does. Tricolor Jimmy Johnson. Speak of him and he will appear. But, you know, for most part, a lot of these racers, it's tough to go from one discipline to the other. It's not an easy thing to just go back and forth. It's kind of what made, you know, Tony Stewart great, and Ken Schrader and some others. Kaz Gralla goes to Jake. Purple 007 out of 125. I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys. I know I have at some point, but there's a person locally here that I know of in my area that collects serial numbered cards that are 007 because he's a James Bond fan. Doesn't care what the athlete is, doesn't care what the card is, you know. He could care less what sport it is, none of that. Just the serial number, that's what matters. Blue Eric Almirola. It's going to go to William Steele. 59 out of 99. If you guys can hear my son in the background, our kids had another day off of school today. I won't call it a snow day because we had no snow, and it wasn't due to temperature. It was last night we got a little bit of rain, and then I guess overnight some of our back roads, you know, we live in a very rural area, and some of our back roads, I guess, had some pretty good patches of black ice, and so they started with a delay at 5 a.m., and then at 7 a.m. they called and canceled school completely. 172 of 199, Ken Schrader going to Lewis. So if you can hear him upstairs, it's because he's playing Xbox and just, you know, having a field day. A silver Raja Karuth. Silver Ryan Preece. Denny and SVG. Silver Ken Schrader. No. Got a blue Corey Heim. That'll go to James. $127 of $175. How is everybody getting prepared and getting prepared for the snow event this weekend? If you live east of the Mississippi River, you're going to get something, it looks like. William Sawalich goes to Steve. Yeah. I went and did ours earlier today, Tim, and I was in our staff meeting. We had a staff meeting this morning, and some of the people in the staff meeting said, Are you going to go to the grocery store and get anything before the weekend? And I said, well, yeah. I said, but we always get groceries on Friday. Like, that's just our, Friday is when we go to the grocery store. I said, so I got to go to the grocery store and get groceries, but not because of the weather. That's just when we do it, so I'm going to look like one of those, get the milk, get the bread. 2 of 75 green, Daniel Hemrick. When in reality, it's just normal. Oh, that's nice. Sparks, Matt Kenseth. Got some decaling in there. Going to William Steele. $14 to $18. So, yeah. Yeah, they're saying where we are, Paul, they're saying we could get like 8 to 12 inches. And I'll take the snow. I don't want the ice that the folks further south are projected to get. The ice is where things get real bad. And so I'm hoping that we avoid that, and I hope everybody avoids it. But that's the thing I am hoping to avoid is the ice. The snow we can handle. Ice is no bueno. Yeah. Yeah, we're a little bit, where I'm at, we're a little bit south of Columbus. So if you look at the map, we're about 30 miles south of Columbus. So whatever that's in line to get is what we're going to get. And they're saying that just being, south of 71 and I-7 and 70 kind of southeast of 7170 in Columbus, there's going to be a significant difference in weather between those two areas, so who knows what we're going to end up with. But I know we're supposed to get a good amount of snow. And it sounds like it's going to be like a powdery snow. Blue, Clint Boyer. Going to James, 104 or 175. Negative 40. Yikes. Negative 40. And where are you, Bill? You're in the Dakotas? Are you in South Dakota? Purple Austin Beers for Steve. Illinois. Oh, okay. 101 or 125. Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to get that cold. I mean, I think we're going to see single digits, but I don't think we're going to get anything colder than like single digits. But once you get below, I tell everybody, once you get down into the single digits and then, around 0, everything's just cold at that point. Like it doesn't really matter. 20 out of 175. Blue, Alan Kulwicki. Goes to Steve. And then we got 62 and 99, William Sawalich. Also going to Steve. Yeah, those temps are dangerous because you're dealing with everything freezing, pipes. Your furnace really, really struggles to even maintain a temperature at that point. Stay warm for sure. Jake Garcia, blue. $117 or $175. Going to James Holland. I don't know why our schools don't do e-learning when they have a snow day, to be honest, because, obviously they did that during COVID. But I don't know why they can't, do some type of e-learning and count their days. That's what the bummer is Ohio gives you 5 snow days and that's it. And then you got to start making them back up. Corey Heim, purple, 43 of 85. Goes to James Holland. Yeah, you would think, like my daughter has, my daughter's in junior high. She has a Chromebook that she, carries back and forth. It would be easy for them, for the older kids especially, to just assign some work on their Chromebook and, call it a day. It's not like they got to give them a ton of stuff either. Give them enough stuff to keep them busy for, an hour and a half or 2 hours. Got Daniel Suarez, purple. Going to James. 71 out of 85. Hey, speaking of Pittsburgh, Tim, are you going to go to the draft? I know you're a football fan. I know that was kind of out of left field, but... Signatures, Brittany Zamora goes to Michael Thompson. White, Raja Caruth going to Lewis. Yeah, I think it would be cool to go. 70 out of 99. With my wife being a teacher, it's like next to impossible because, you know, they do the first round on Thursday night. She'd have to take off. And I'm assuming for anybody that's going to the draft, I'm assuming you're going to have to get there pretty early on Thursday. You know, without knowing how that's all structured. So she'd almost have to take 2 days off of work just to go to the NFL draft. And I don't think that's worth it necessarily. But yeah, if I lived closer or if it was near us, that would be cool. We have not this weekend, Tim, but next weekend we have a big card show here in Columbus. It's called the Grove City Card Fest, and they're keeping it kind of quiet for now. But I'm told that Will Howard is going to be there signing autographs, doing meet and greets and stuff. Purple Austin Beers, 167 to 199, going to Steve. Oh, that'll be cool. Jeremy Clements, blue. Going to James. 23 of 175. Yeah, I'm hoping to surprise my wife because obviously I'm going to be there set up and I'm not going to be able to get away. So I'm hoping to be able to surprise my wife and let her go meet him. She would get a kick out of that. Purple Austin Beers. Right back to Steve. Yeah. I mean, I think they should give Will a shot for sure. 196 to 199. He's a winner. You know? All right. Fourth and final box. Empty. I think Howard sitting for a year behind Aaron Rodgers was the best thing Howard could have happened to him too. You know, just a whole year to basically just sit back and observe and absorb. And he said he was trying to just be a sponge. He even had like a notepad. He said he was following Aaron around and certain things he would write down and take notes on. And 13/75, Jesse Love for James. Bill says the same thing. Yep. Ben Rhodes. You know what Pittsburgh could do if they were smart is try to find a veteran that's at the end of his career that would be fine being, not the starter. Just to have that older kind of mentor still behind Howard. Just that kind of stability. Rhodes going to James. I don't have a QB in mind that would be necessarily, but Austin Beers, orange. Going to Steve. 3/49. Tricolor, Noah Gragson. Got a red, Sensations, Austin Cindric for JR. 76/99. Denny with the trackside. Yeah, no kidding, Steve. You've had a bunch of beers this afternoon. You've had a bunch of beers. You've had a whole case at this point. Corey Day, tricolor. Austin Dillon and Tony Breidinger. Big Ben was going to be in. Yeah, I know he's a big fan of Will Howard because I know he had Will on his podcast and was. They were even calling him Ben Jr., which that's what I thought when Howard played at Ohio State. He reminded me of Ben Roethlisberger because he's a big kid. I shouldn't say kid. He's a grown man now, but 17/99, Ryan Priest. But he's a big dude, like physically. He's not super skinny. He's tall. He's not like going to set the world on fire with his running, but he can run and get away and get some yards if he needs to. Priest goes to James. But he's a smart guy. I think that's the thing is he's very intelligent. Purple Ken Schrader. Goes to Lewis. 27 out of 199. Jeb Burton, silver. We got 4 to go on this one. 4 to go. Tomorrow, for those watching, tomorrow we got a double header. Double break tomorrow, which we don't do that very often, but it's just sort of the way the calendar fell and what we have going on. Normally I would do a break on Thursday night tonight, but we have an Ohio State basketball game tonight that's a late game. It's an 8 o'clock game, so trying to do a break tonight was going to be tough because it's going to be like 11 o'clock probably when we get home. So that's why we're doing a doubleheader tomorrow. But anyway, tomorrow is a single box of Turn 4 for lunch break at 11:30. And then tomorrow night will be a National Treasures 2-box break. And I'll need to update the National Treasures list because the price of National Treasures came down a decent little bit. So you'll notice at least some spots will be a little bit different price to the good direction. 101 of 199, Corey Heim, purple. And then we got Matt Kenseth, selective swatches. Going to William Steele. We had Kenseth earlier. Yeah, I figured there wouldn't be too many people upset about doing a double tomorrow. So silver, Kurt Busch. Last pack. Got Ty Dillon, red. Going to Corey King. That's 81 out of 125. And our last hit is going to be Trackside Action Signatures, Brad Keselowski. Going to James. Nice, James. Well done. Well done indeed. That is that, as they say. I'm going to have to do a couple of randoms, though, before we wrap this up. So let me dig out the tablet. Get that ready. Move a couple things out of the way. All right, let me get you guys a recap real quick. So our relics were Matt Kenseth, selective swatches. Matt Kenseth Sparks with some decaling, and Ty Gibbs selective swatches. Autographs were Brad Keselowski, silver. Ryan Preece, blue. Brittany Zamora, silver. William Sawalich, patch auto. William Sawalich trackside action signatures. Blue, Eric Almirola. I think we're missing a patch. We had a red Greg Biffle patch auto. And the tie-dye patch auto for Blake Harris. Yeah, we're short one patch. And then we've got a couple of randoms we got to do. We got a tie-dye tandem draft Chase Elliott and Larson out of 25. And then we got a red Richard Petty and Kyle Petty that we need to take care of. So the first one we'll do is the Richard and Kyle, since that's the first one we pulled. And Richard belongs to Glenn. Kyle belongs to Jake. Just getting the tablet fired up here so that we can do this. Of course, it's got to verify that I'm a human. Not sure how it does that other than... I don't know how it does that. All right, so we're going to put Kyle... Petty and Richard. So we got Kyle and Richard in there, just like we always do, 5 times. Winner will be at the top. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's going to go to the Richard Petty spot. And Glenn. That's on the Petty. And then the second one is the Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. Chase Elliott is Tim Mays. And again, Kyle Larson is Lewis. Chase Elliott. Kyle Larson. All right, same deal, 5 times. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's going to go to the Larson spot and Lewis. Larson spot and Lewis on the tie-dye tandem draft. So Larson and Petty. Larson and Richard Petty, I should say. So, all right. That's all I got for today. Appreciate everybody who participated in the break. And again, as I mentioned, I appreciate everybody's patience with having to wait to do the break. We rarely encounter that, but every once in a while something happens or whatever, and so just appreciate everybody's patience and understanding and going with the flow a little bit. So that's all I got. Like I said, I'm going to a Buckeye game tonight, but tomorrow, starting at 11:30, we've got lunch break with turn 4, and then National Treasures 2-boxer tomorrow night. So double duty tomorrow. So everybody have a great rest of your Thursday. And stay safe this weekend, and we'll see you next time.